Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Okay, so welcome to our Wednesday Chaitanya Charitamrita session. And today being a very auspicious and important day, appearance day of Srimati Radharani. Jai, Ki Jai. So, maybe it's even more significant to discuss from Chaitanya Charitamrita rather than even Srimad Bhagavatam, because Srimad Bhagavatam, well, to some extent it does describe some dealings and positions of gopis with Krishna, but somehow still Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita goes a little deeper. It does explain that from much more intimate point of view, and it does give some more insight into those dealings of gopis and Krishna. And we are already discussing this one of the chapters, which is fourth chapter, Adi Lila, saying that the confidential reasons for what are the confidential reasons for the Lord's appearance. And who is that Lord? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna Nahe Anya. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He is Radha and Krishna combined. So, and we get both. We get both because who is Srimati Radharani? Krishna, what? Expansion of Krishna. Hladini Shakti, internal energy, yes. So these are two persons in one, on one person in two features. How is that possible? The example is given of the sun. Can sun and sun rays be divided? No. So in the same way, Krishna and Srimati Radharani, they are no different. So this potency, this energy of Krishna, its personal form is Srimati Radharani. Okay, before we actually start, we will offer our invocation prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Chalaka Chaksham Yatangina Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhakti Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauranga Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare. Okay, so but it's very important, it's very essential that most of you, some of you, whatever, whomever, have come here today to the temple. I will try to make those online feeling, well, maybe I should have come. Who had attended the boat festival? Everybody saw the boat festival? Okay. Just now going on in the temple room? No. Now it's over already, 7:30 it started, something like that. Till 9. Ah? Till 9? Maybe, but it's not going to be the same now. Initial half an hour is like the peak. So that's very nice. We see the pastimes of... This is also pastime of Krishna. Pastime of Krishna. Boat riding. Because Krishna sometimes does boat riding with the gopis, and he disguises himself sometimes as a boatman, and there are so many lilas, and the gopis cannot recognize Krishna. And then they're carrying on the other side of Yamuna. There was one pastime, they were going from one side of Manasi Ganga, that's in Govardhan, going from one side to another. And they were carrying so many different goods, so many pots of yogurt, rabri, milk, so many different things. And the boatman started saying that the boat is leaking, the water is leaking in, there's a hole, and now you have to start throwing, if you don't want to drown, you have to start throwing everything into Ganga, Manasi Ganga. Manasi Ganga, it's a little sarovar. So everybody became frantic, the gopi were forced like this, they started throwing all the pots, clay pots, that was pretty heavy. So then to make the boat lighter, and still it wasn't enough, the water started coming. And then the boatman said, well, now you have to start throwing all your clothes and everything also in the and then the gopis figure out, oh, this must be Krishna. So then they say, okay, we'll throw you. Anyway, some pastimes like this. So everything is there to preoccupy, to attract, to fill our mind with these wonderful pastimes. Because what are these pastimes? These are original pastimes. These are the pastimes which happen in the spiritual world, sometimes manifested to some extent in this material world, and everything else that we have attraction towards is just a very pale, or at best, but at worst, is perverted reflection. And this is why we have attraction towards different kinds of pastimes like this, because the original pastimes take place in the spiritual world. So Krishna and Radharani perform all these different leelas and have so many wonderful various types of engagements, and practically the whole manifestation, the whole spiritual manifestation, the whole material manifestation is having the purpose to bring pleasure to Radha and Krishna. That's it. So whatever goes on is practically for their pleasure. And of course, for their different expansions, pleasure of their different expansions, in different realms, to different degrees. So everything is Krishna's lila, everything is Krishna's pastime. So whatever goes on, so we have some of those pastimes presented for our benefit, so that we can, as I said, become attracted to those pastimes. Because otherwise we become attracted, we definitely have a tendency of attraction. But if we are not attracted towards Krishna, then we know we will become attracted towards illusory material energy, thinking that we are these bodies, and becoming more and more deeply entangled into the material affairs of material world, which of course nobody essentially appreciates, neither likes. When we face ourselves being trapped and suffering different kinds of miseries of material existence. So that's something that nobody wants, and hopefully everybody will realize how conditioned we are. And for that reason, Krishna presents this kind of an alternative, which is an eternal alternative. What are the original pastimes going on in the spiritual world? So that instead of some kind of like, how many attractions we have in this world? There's so many different types of attractions. Attractions to sound, attractions to sight, attractions to, some special effects. No, so many nowadays, especially to different kinds of media. So many different ways to become, better to say, distracted than attracted. So distracted from Krishna, but somehow or other still, we have that fortune that we can hear about pastimes of Krishna, we can hear about pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it's so wonderful. Like when we have some nice pastimes being described, and we can fully absorb ourselves in it, and then we can develop so many wonderful feelings that are very purifying, that are very elevating. They're so beneficial, rather than we become absorbed in some fictional making, that we are presented in front of some fiction, and then we find some kind of excitement, but what is the real outcome out of it? It just churns so many negative feelings and creates so many unlimited material desires, unfulfilling desires, unrealistic desires, so many negative things. But again, when we hear about Krishna, we hear about Krishna's pastimes. It's so fulfilling, it's so satisfying. It brings peace, it brings harmony, it brings so much satisfaction. So it's a vast, vast, vast difference. But the problem is, it's very difficult to focus the mind to hear. It's very difficult to allow ourselves to be exposed to such kind of pastimes. Or let's say sometimes if we can just take the book and just read about those pastimes, because our minds are so heavily conditioned. They just want some entertainment. I want to be entertained by this, I want to be entertained by that. And that's what mostly nowadays you're like, it's so much easier, it's difficult. I don't know if any of you have noticed, when you have to really focus and do some work, you have to invest some energy, it becomes difficult to fix the mind. Did you ever notice this? You have to, you have to perform certain duty. You don't like it really. You really have to struggle to force your mind to be involved in that. No? But let's say somebody comes, hey, here is something. Can you see this? Immediately, yes, okay. No? Immediately. Mind is so conditioned, mind is so corrupted already. Yes, it doesn't want to become active. It just wants some easy sense gratification. So with such kind of state of mind, it's very difficult to, let's say, then take a book and try to peacefully absorb oneself in the content of the book. It's very difficult. So this is why, fortunately, Krishna knew, of course, everything about our condition, and he had advised and proposed and set the principle of performing such kind of festivals as we have today, to absorb our mind, to attract our mind, to involve our mind in Krishna's service, in his service, for our benefit. So that's why we have these kind of festivals, and there was so much involvement. If you would have seen, of course, since morning, I was just thinking, let's say for Abhishek, it'd be nice that most of you would have been able to come for Abhishek. This is just for Abhishek, just to make those different kinds of preparations, different kinds of items that are used for Abhishek. Get the milk, curd, get the honey, get the coconut water, get all kinds of juices, this and that, to mix that, to prepare. That's a lot of energy. Then to prepare everything, then to arrange for different pujas, for different artis, for different this, for different that. Then the morning special dressing. Now there was a flower dressing afternoon. Then there is a boat festival, then it's this and that. I mean, so much service, then so much cooking was going on in the kitchen. Whole day everybody was busy, focused on what? Trying to please Krishna and Srimati Radharani. Because if we please Srimati Radharani, then actually we can please Krishna. We cannot approach Krishna directly. But Krishna cannot refuse his pure devotees. If we get recommendation by Srimati Radharani, then Krishna will not refuse her request. Directly we have hardly any hopes, practically no hope. We have no hopes. But if we please Srimati Radharani, then we can hope to please Krishna. That's why we are also, sometimes it's said, we are also Shaktas. We also worship Shakti. The primeval Shakti, who is that? Srimati Radharani, because all the other Shakti, emanations of Shakti are her expansions. First of all gopis, then the Lakshmis, then all different Sitas. There are so many manifestations of Sita. and actually first Sita, then Lakshmi's. Then we have Durga, then we have all the different other manifestations in material universe and so forth. But the original Shakti is Srimati Radharani. She is the primeval energy of the Lord. And without her mercy, we had no hope. But how to gain her mercy also? This is the science which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give. This is the science which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to present and teach us. How do we act in a way to attract, again, Srimati Radharani's mercy? Because she is Karunamaya. She is that potency of Krishna, potency of mercy. She is even more merciful than Krishna. And who is even more merciful than Srimati Radharani? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is even more merciful than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Lord Nityananda. Who is even more merciful than Lord Nityananda? Advaita Acharya. Well, then comes Guru Parampara. Yes, all the devotees. So that's the process, because otherwise, we cannot talk about. We cannot talk about Radha and Krishna. We don't even know who Radha and Krishna are. We have no idea. The only way we can understand what is their position, who they are, is by the mercy and teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if we don't approach Radha and Krishna through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have no hopes to approach them. We have no hopes to approach them. There is a general conception, let's say, of Krishna, which is maybe Mathura Krishna at best, but then usually it's Dwarka Krishna, but not Vraja Krishna. Vraja Krishna cannot be understood without practicing the process given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, exemplified by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Can never understand the position of Srimati Radharani. And who is she? How important, exalted her position is. And of course, how merciful she is to everyone. She wants to engage. She thinks that she is not. Why is she the most exalted? Why is she the most wonderful, the most perfect, the most qualified? Why is she having all these wonderful qualities? Because she doesn't think himself to be so qualified. She thinks that all the devotees are more qualified than I am. And she tries to push everybody, in front for Krishna's pleasure, for Krishna's satisfaction. That's why she is the greatest devotee. Do we think like that? And we should we should push everybody, qualify everybody first. And then we will stay in the background and then let everybody else takes the credit and approaches Krishna. Do we think like this? But that's the mood of the gopis. That's why they're the topmost in their devotional service. That's why they're topmost. This is the mood. So if we develop such kind of mood, that this is going to be very pleasing to, first of all, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what is the process? What is the process to express that mood? First of all, to gain that mood. Well, we have to be engaged. We have to see how do we become involved in devotional service. What means devotional service? What do you think? What means devotional service? What is the process Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us? Huh? Chanting, fine, but that's not the highest manifestation of such kind of process. What is more higher than just? Huh? What means chanting? Sankirtan. Chanting means the Krishna engagement in your service. How are we engaged in Krishna's service? Didi. Yes. How? How? Preaching, yes. How? What's the best form of preaching? What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? What did Srila Prabhupada? Huh? Raise your hand. Huh? No. Come on, what is, nobody knows? That's okay. What are we doing? What is our process really? We already said, that's fine. So what does that mean? Sankirtan means what? Yes. No. Yes. How? Books, books, books. Yes, books, books, books. That's what I said. Our minds are so conditioned by some entertainment, it's difficult to read. So we have to save people from that madness. It's really a madness when you can't focus on any work because your mind is just so flickering. You know, just want some, okay, what is entertaining? What is it? Oh, this is not entertainment, I don't want it. How will we get taste for Krishna consciousness? How will you get taste for anything, even anything material, if you cannot focus your mind on something for a few moments at least? So we have to save people by, in some ways, practically forcing them to read. Forcing them to read. Because this is how you pacify the mind. You have to bring mind, that's the whole science of mode of goodness, bringing mind to the mode of goodness. Because mind is born from the mode of goodness. If you keep your mind in the mode of passion, always feeding it with all kinds of inputs, stimuli, all kinds of impressions, then there's no hope. There's no hope. You cannot be even happy in this world, what to speak of next, or there's no question of spiritual world or spiritual experience. We have to try to focus our minds, to try to read the books. So distributing the books. Now it's one chance coming. You know someone who can take Krishna in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam? It's not different. Srimad Bhagavatam, there's no difference. Krishna and his words. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the full deity manifestation of Krishna, in that form of the highest instructions, practical application of what happens when one surrenders to Krishna. So that's one wonderful way. Of course, there's going to be another way of book distribution. Of course, it can be done every day. The marathon is coming soon, but that's also another way. So trying to give books, and you will find yourself when you do this, how you will become purified, and how you will be gaining taste, and how you will be able to control your own mind, so that you can relish this nectar which is presented in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, any other books given by Srila Prabhupada. So this is the real mercy, this is real benefit for us, for our conditioned position. And then how much more we can benefit others. So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give. He came to give this mercy, so that we can give that mercy to others. So the more we give, the more we get. This is the more we get. This is why this process is such a unique process compared to any other process given. It's the most powerful process. Giving mercy, that's the whole point. This is Srimati Radharani's position, just giving mercy. Giving mercy, giving mercy, giving mercy. And if we give mercy, this is how we're going to attract the mercy. We are all, yes, we want mercy. We don't want, mostly people say because we don't want suffering and this and that. Okay, but what are you doing? Are you giving mercy to anybody else? No? Or this material hypocrisy, we want mercy, people play for mercy, this and that, but they're killing so many animals. That's such a gross hypocrisy. No? So what is the mercy? We want mercy. Yes, we want mercy. Because we have to understand, hopefully we will understand, that without mercy there's no hope in this material existence. Not what to speak of spiritual. So we definitely have to hanker for mercy. We have to have what is described as laulyam. Laulyam means even to the point of greed. Yes, we want it. We want to taste it in the mouth. We have to be so greedy to taste that mercy. But you want to have that experience, but then you have to give the mercy. You have to give that mercy to others. So the more the one gives, the more one will receive. That's the mercy of Srimati Radharani. That's the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He gave us this, the most wonderful process, the most exalted process. And that's the most worshipable process. This is how we worship Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, he says, once who gives this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to others, he's or he reads that knowledge, he studies this knowledge, he's worshipping me with his intelligence. So that's also worship. What does Aradyate means? Aradhana, Aradyate, Radharani, derivation. It means worship. It means worship. That's the highest form of worship. Radharani also, it's very interesting. Radha. Radha means, Radha refers to charity, and Dha refers to liberation, ultimate liberation. So she gives in charity. She's ready to grant everybody ultimate liberation. That's what's the meaning of her name. And also, what to this morning, anybody heard this morning's class? Has been a nice point about meaning of Radharani's name. Yeah. So Ra refers also to, refers to like if you would have hooked some kind of bucket and threw it into some pond or well, you know. And so it's according to this how you call that? It's the sound that it's downward. It's going down, right? And Dha, it's going up. So no, it's going down. So that's according to Sangita, right? Sangita rules of poetry, expression. So, and then Dha, when you say Dha, that goes upward, no? Goes upward. So that sound goes upward. So it's like, Bandhu Prabhu explained, it's just like when you throw a bucket to collect the water. So first you throw. So when you say Ra, so then also in that sense you throw that into your heart to collect, to pull out what? Then it's Dha, to pull out all the anarthas, all the sinfulness, all the horrible things that we have within that heart, to pull it out and clean it completely. Yeah? Fetch it like this. And then what comes? Shyam, yes, says that M, it closes the mouth. So Radhe Shyam. That means what? To close the mouth, not to speak any more prajalpa or nonsense or perform any simple activities. No? That was very nice. So that's Srimati Radharani. So she'll purify us. Yeah? And she'll remove all the burdens that we face in our execution of devotional service. And of course, finally, when we, by her mercy, reach the absolute, that's it. There's nothing more that we have to look for. There is the whole absolute perfection that is available. We don't require anything else. That's where the full satisfaction is. Because if you don't get that, if you don't aim for that, then you'll be always searching. Why people are always looking for more wealth? Why people are always looking for more this? Why people are always looking for more of that? Always searching, hankering, like we know, hankering and lamentation, two material principles. Always hankering after something, because that means they're not satisfied. They're not peaceful. There is no satiation. So that's the proof. There is no spiritual content. But anybody who has Krishna's mercy, Radharani's mercy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, they will not hanker after anything except Krishna. That's it. Except how to serve Krishna more, how to surrender more to Krishna. That's it. They won't hanker after anything else. They won't hanker for anything that is in relationship to themselves. They don't need that. They don't need anything for themselves. They already have everything. Once they have Krishna, they already have everything. They don't require anything else, you know? Because they have purchased Krishna. By what? By their love. By their love. You know? Like Sudama Brahmana. I mean, there are so many stories. Sudama Brahmana. Yeah. Krishna wanted to take, he brought some cheap rice, nothing, just plain cheap rice. And because he offered to Krishna with so much, actually he didn't even offer. Krishna asked him, do you have something that you bring? He knew. But he then presented with so much love that Krishna couldn't stop eating. And then Rukmini had to stop him, that you're obliging yourself too much, because you're taking from him so much then. He'll be so obliged by that. So by that love, Krishna is so indebted. He's indebted to gopis. He told them, "No, napadayaham," for your love, for your surrender, for your dedication. There's no way. How can I repay? How can I reciprocate? So let your service be the greatest reward, because through that service, that's the highest ecstasy. It's not the result of the service, but the service itself. So why we don't start doing some service? Why don't we start thinking about doing some service? Confirmed anyway. So Krishna so 3 times a day in the ocean, Jagannath Puri. But only when Haridas Thakur left his body, when he was bathed, then he proclaimed that from now on this ocean is holy place. Because Haridas Thakur was bathed in that ocean. So he was so obliged. So Krishna becomes so obliged when we perform devotional service. He becomes conquered by that bhakti. That's something he doesn't have. He doesn't have that our bhakti. And he hankers for more. That's what he wants. That's what he comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wants to taste that love that Srimati Radharani is tasting. Yeah. He understands, just like he would be able to understand theoretically something, but practically, let's say components of something, composition of something, you can theoretically describe it in so many ways. But to taste it, to feel it, that's something else. So he wants to feel what Srimati Radharani feels for him. What is it that she goes through? 1,000 times more experiencing greater ecstasy. What is it? What is that? So he comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Radha Krishna Nahe Anya. Combined form of Radha and Krishna. So then, by his mercy, therefore, by his guidance, and when we reach Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, then we can understand, again, who is Radha, we can understand who is Krishna, what are their dealings, and we become attracted so much to them, then we become so practically disgusted with what is available and what is going on in this material world, because it's so selfish, because so degrading, it's so actually disappointing. So once we have, hopefully, and once we will have that realization, then we can try to focus and pacify, first of all pacify, and then focus our mind on some substance here that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving to us. And that's how we can understand, are we advancing in spiritual life or not? Are we attracted more towards Krishna? Are we attracted more to serve Srimati Radharani, to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Or we still are hankering after so many material things, which is just mind's trick to divert us from the real essence. So what is it that we want? And that's why Acharyas have given us. Of course, these pastimes are very confidential, very rare, but still, we have the access. How did we deserve that? It's just pure mercy. There's no hope of becoming qualified for anything as such. It's just pure mercy. Whose mercy? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, Lord Nityananda's mercy, Advaita Acharya's mercy, Guru Parampara's mercy. That's all. So why we wouldn't take advantage? Yeah? And we see how nice today. Being engaged, devotees who have been engaged, who have been cooking and dressing and serving and doing so many different things. I see how much ecstasy, how much purity, how much happiness, how much enlightenment do they get. And even, okay, fine, we come to temple, and that's also itself how much we become spiritually charged, enlightened, purified. No? We ask for that mercy, we get that mercy. Definitely Srimati Radharani is ready. And that's the whole point. Nobody holds back anything. Everything is just fully given out. Fully given out. Because there's plenty available. There's no end. There's no end of that mercy. But are we ready to accept it? That's something that we have to ask ourselves. Are we ready to take to that mercy? No? So that's what, at least philosophically, we should understand that that's what we should do. Nothing else. But then also theoretically, somehow finding out some ways how to do some service, how to be involved, how to become part of that process of receiving the mercy. You know? And that's what, again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is what he comes. So here, in this chapter that we have been discussing, these are confidential reasons. It's something Krishna wants to experience for himself. And of course, there are reasons external reasons, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to with the purpose of delivering everybody else, spreading this Harinam Sankirtan, giving the holy name, giving the teachings of Krishna, so that we can develop more and more attraction towards these pastimes. Because if we just become, let's say, attracted by hearing about the pastimes of Krishna, but we don't become engaged in devotional service, and it's a very great danger that we develop mentality of sahajas, which is just cheap imitation, and becomes very, very simple. But again, if we just, try to do something, but we don't know also how to perform those, then we may also commit certain kind of inappropriate activities or commit some offenses. So that's why we have to know both. We have to know the theory and we have to know the practice. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. He has come to give us the highest form of spiritual process and the ecstasy that one can derive by practicing any process. So by that mercy, we may also become blessed to have that taste, to have that experience. So on this day, and it's very merciful. In some temples, sometimes they show Radharani's feet. I don't know, was it today? I didn't know this.
Yeah, it was
in Vrindavan, but not in our Radharani Vihari. Yeah, it's not there. I was on the altar, I didn't see. At least at that point. Maybe sometimes, I thought sometimes for some time. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not so. No, maybe, anyway. Doesn't matter. Srimati Radharani is ready to bless everybody. In whichever way doesn't mean that it has to be in such a way. You can take her blessings in many various forms. Okay, anyway, we didn't discuss what we are supposed to discuss, but today is a unique day. But even here, I just saw just here in this purport that we are supposed to continue. And that there is a name that Prabhupada mentions twice at least. See, I'll just read this. He mentions Radharani's name at least twice, maybe even more. He said, Svarup Damodar Goswami has described Lord Chaitanya as Krishna himself with the attitude of Radharani, or a combination of Radha and Krishna. The intention of Lord Chaitanya is to taste Krishna's sweetness in transcendental love. He does not care to think of himself as Krishna because he wants the position of Radharani. So Prabhupada emphasizes this. So he said we should remember this. Lord Chaitanya is undoubtedly Krishna himself and is always not different from Srimati Radharani, but the emotion technically called Vikralamba Bhav, which the Lord adopted for confidential reasons, should not be distributed in the name of service. A mundaner should not necessarily intrude into affairs of transcendence and thereby displease the Lord. One must always be on guard against this sort of devotional anomaly. A devotee is not meant to create disturbance to Krishna. As Srila Rupa Goswami has explained, devotional service is anukulyena, or favorable to Krishna. Acting unfavorably towards Krishna is not devotion. So that's why we have to know what to do, how to do. We want to please someone, we should better know how to do that, no? We want to please Krishna, we want to please Srimati Radharani, then we have to follow in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, Srimati Radharani ki jai. A few minutes left, any questions or comments? Yes.
I understand how Nityanand Prabhu is how because he came with Radha. But so how is he?
He's more merciful because no, Nityananda is more merciful than Lord Chaitanya.
I understand that.
Okay, so then what you don't understand?
How is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu more merciful? Because he came with Radha and he's then Radha. More merciful.
Because Krishna came and Krishna said, he spoke just, you have to surrender. He just gave philosophy. He just gave teachings, no? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more merciful because again he's combined Radharani's mercy, no? Real mercy of Krishna is in the form of Srimati Radharani. So that's why now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's Krishna with that mercy of Radharani combined. That's why he's more merciful than Krishna, because Radharani is included. Now, so he came to present the teachings practically. He's not just saying this is what you should do, but he's presenting. He said this is how you should do, and he's exemplifying it.
How is he more than Radha?
How is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu more merciful than Radharani? Because Radharani is already included, and there's some little bit of Krishna's mercy also. Okay, so they're combined.
Yeah, Prabhuji, one question.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, I have a question.
That's why hopefully you should remember Srimati Radharani today. She's well, anyway, I won't speak now because this will take a long. Yes. Yes, we should distribute books because books are hopefully going to. We have experience that people who read the books. There is that chit potency. What is bhakti? Bhakti is combination of Hladini and chit shakti. That is bhakti shakti. So chit means understanding. Chit means understanding. That means knowledge. And Hladini, we said it's Radharani, no? So that's the pleasure potency. So to understand the pleasure potency, how to act to please Krishna, so that's what bhakti is. So you will gain that understanding by devotional service, how to please Krishna.
For that we needed some qualification.
For that, you don't need any, you just need mercy. Just go out and distribute books. There's no need of any all the qualifications will develop more and more and more. The more one is engaged and involved, the more the qualifications will manifest. You can start from right now. You can take few books, go out on the station and sit and tell people, just take the book, give some Lakshmi, I go. That's it, simple. Yes.
I had also done. So it is not that difficult, but the problem which I face, like it is not difficult to approach people and tell them to take books. But I always feel that in my sadhana practice, what is chanting and books reading and following a discipline life, in that I struggle a lot. Like chanting, I can do.
We always struggle with something. But whatever we can do, there is always some, this is very interesting. We have to find something in devotional service that we like, that's our preference, and that it's easy. And then other things, at least we should do out of duty, but at least some things we should do out of love. Everybody finds that. Some things are more difficult, some things are more easy, but it doesn't mean those things which are difficult that we should give up on them. We should also continue performing them out of duty, and then doing something that we like, that will purify us, that will qualify us, that at some point even things that we struggle with, which we are doing out of duty, that will also become easy and blissful. So just keep on doing.
I always feel that if I'm like not honest in terms, not honest with Srila Prabhupada, like doing services doesn't give confidence.
Okay, so that's why one has to have proper mentality. Why we are doing devotional service. So that has to manifest, that has to be clear. And again, if nothing else, like Krishna said to Arjuna, do it out of duty. If you do it just with that purpose, that itself is sufficient to purify one and elevate one. And taste will manifest. So if nothing else, out of instruction, out of something that we know it's good, and at least we know theoretically that how many have been benefited by it. I also started practicing. I never met any devotee, I just got a book. I read that book and I said, wow, amazing, chit potency worked, knowledge potency, it was there. And I was impressed with it. You give out books and see, and mostly people who read the books, they become more steadily devoted than those who just come out of sentiment or something. Knowledge is very essential because that fortifies the intelligence, and with that kind of intelligence, the mind can be guided. Otherwise, mind cannot be guided if intelligence is not strong. So we need knowledge, we need explanations, we need reasons, we need some logic to convince us to continue or even start practicing this process. And that becomes the taste, then so many other things will manifest. Okay. Anything else? Okay, we'll stop here. Srimati Radharani's appearance day ki Jai! Shri Chaitanya ki Jai! Prabhupada ki Jai! Premanande Hari.